away we go. Steph's the early riser. Howdy, Steph. How are you, ma'am? Tired. It's been like a week worth of work without actually working. Well, it's that cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot stuff that's pretty much killing me. That and the mosquitoes. Luckily, I sprayed for mosquitoes today, so they should be less hindersome than they've been in the past. Lord knows they'll get you. Howdy, Skip. How you doing, sir? Great to have both of the Canes in here. And somebody else. But don't worry, whoever else you are, you don't have to say hi. Just good to have you on board. I can tell because there's this little thing that says 3. There's only 2 of them here. It's a duck butter kind of day. Duck fat cooked bacon. Now we're talking. Yeah. Howdy, Ron. Great to have you in here. Go ahead, Skip. I'll save it for you. Oh, I'm not worried about the thumbs up, sir. As we all know. There we go. That's the part I was waiting for. By the way, Skip, I just want you to know, my team did all they could to bring your team out of the cellar. Beating up on the donkeys. Oh, yeah, you know. And for all of y'all Red Sox fans out there, sorry about your luck. You start talking trash about Alex Correa and you basically get whooped. 18-6 in 2 games. Good Lord. Though that first game that the Astros won after they talked smack about Correa, well, we had to wait till the 9th inning before the bats woke up. And once the bats woke up, it seemed like they basically said, Joe Boo, I stick up for you. I pray to you. If you don't help me now, Then I say, fuck you, Jobu, I do it myself. But every time I see that movie, I keep wanting to buy insurance. Don't know why. Just crazy thought. Could be that the guy who plays Serrano is now the spokesperson for one of those insurance companies. Let's go, Brandon. Who's Brandon? Must be a Red Sox player. Maybe that's it. Race car driver. Race car. Race car. Steph's always such a good young lady. There's no way she's into race cars. Oh, there's some nice way of saying that to Joe Biden. I still have doubts about the legitimacy of the actual voting. But whatever, I mean, that's moot point by now. A better look at this pipe. Ain't that a fantastic looking pipe? That is a Jonas design, made in Italy. By far the best looking pipe I own. Mike, if you're in here, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Love this pipe. I only smoke it once a week. I was going to smoke a super rare cigar today, but with the mosquitoes and having to spray and all of that, I didn't want to do too much that, well, let's just say the Cohiba Silencio is a cigar I'm going to enjoy. And I'm weird about whether I'm going to be able to enjoy it as much as I should while I'm spending most of the time talking. Not that I don't enjoy these chats and all that. It's just that some cigars you really just kind of want to sit back and just enjoy it. And yeah, that cigar just happens to be one of those. Well, Steph, that's actually a true statement there. I mean, dog, female dogs are called a bitch. Of course, we get away with so much on my live streams because YouTube doesn't have a problem with it. Oh, this guy only has 200 followers? Really? Seriously? Okay, 250. Or right around there. They're not worried about me getting a big following together and having a lot of people change their minds about things because of something I said. It's just the truth. I was going to show y'all pictures of my grandbaby, but then I had a bunch of stuff go on today and I never got around to copying the photos onto the app. So it's like, well, let's try for tomorrow. Y'all went and saw a high school play that was racy. More information, Steph. More information. And where could other followers of the Houston area possibly go to see this play if it happens to be playing more than one day, which most of them do? Howdy, Sharon. Great to see you, ma'am. Hopefully you're doing well. Howdy, Jose. Or, actually, I'd like to say, my brain is fried, so let me go back a second. Go. Hola, Jose amigo. ¿Cómo estás? Sharon, yes, I've been shaving because, well, Mike sent me some stuff to try and see if it would correct some psoriasis issues I've got. And I've been following his plan, drinking the lemon water, eating cucumber. Absolutely love cucumber. But raw cucumber is just the worst. But Mike says do it, so I'm all right. Mike, if this is what you said do it, let's do it. I will say that the face soap stuff has taken care of any small amounts of acne that I would normally get from shaving. So at least there's that. And I've been doing it solid for the whole week now. One shave cream has this slight, or not shave cream, but face moisturizing cream, the AM stuff, has a slight anise smell to it. It's okay, I get through it. The PM one though smells like beer. Not exactly like beer, but if you've ever been around a brewery when they open up the vats and you've got what they call the worst, that smell, that yeastiness, that's what the PM one smells like. It's not bad, it's just a little different. A pipe and a cigarette and booze in a high school play? That's kind of awesome. Personally, I went to high school with some really talented people. There's one guy, you can look him up. His name is Diego Garcia. Of course, back in high school, everybody called him Jim. Yeah, it's not quite new. I've had it for a couple months now. It is a severely nice pipe, though. It's just beautiful all the way around. I'm telling you, Jose, this is just the prettiest pipe I've got. Don't get me wrong, I like my Savinelli, which has got Raiders colors. Oh yeah, love that. But if I was having to say, oh, which is the prettiest pipe I've got, this is the one right there. And it has a freaking huge bowl. I know this because I've timed it. What I can normally stuff into a country gentleman, it's only like half full. And it doesn't look like it should be that much more in there, right? I mean, but then you get to how big around that bowl is. Don't worry, Steph. It's probably either Martin or Phil, or it might be Mike. Mike might be listening in while while he's doing things or getting ready to play dad taxi. Would not surprise me if that's the case. Again, commenting and all of that, there's no requirement there. I mean, we're just all kind of hanging out waiting for Mike to get done with doing what he's doing so he gets his show off, and then away we go, right? Head over to Canada via Texas. Hell of a trip, isn't it? Hey, but that's what I tailgate for. I put on a tailgate so that we've got a place to sit around and hang out while other shows are basically getting their stuff together so that they got an excellent show for you. Tell funny stories. Okay, got a funny story. Way back in the 90s, I just got out the Army and decided to spend a little of my money just traveling around, going places that I had heard of. And one of those places happened to be Panama City in Florida. That's where Willie is. In case anybody forgot to watch the show last night, Willie is in Panama City, Florida. And what reminds me of this story is the fact that I was in Panama City, Florida. When I first got out the Army, I was cut, physically fit. Women used to say that you could bounce a quarter off of my backside and it would come all the way back to your hand. Yeah, let's just say I looked good back then. Well, better. I didn't have this I was in shape. I went into this bar. You know, tough guy, no problem. Nothing in this world that could stand in my way. I could just walk through a brick wall anytime I wanted. Unfortunately, the Navy showed up at that same bar. The Army and Navy have a little bit of good-natured rivalry. No big deal. But good-natured rivalry turned into a little more heated in nature than was absolutely necessary. And if I recall correctly, I don't remember exactly what was said, but one of the Navy guys, I was there by myself, but one of the Navy guys, there was more than one. It's not that far to Panama City from Pensacola. It's really just right around the corner. But one of the Navy guys decided he was going to tell me that he was going to whoop my ass. Now, one-on-one, I think I probably could have took him. Which is the reason I replied with, open air and opportunity. One of them's holding you back. Now, I'm not going to say I was completely sober. And I will be damned if I say he was completely sober. But for the next 15 minutes, we destroyed a small bar. Okay, a lot of it was the Navy throwing me around like a damn basketball, destroying a small bar. But some of it was me getting a few licks in too. Don't get me wrong. Now, I was out of the military officially. Had my DD 214 and all. No big deal. When the Judge Advocate General, JAG, showed up to get his Navy colleagues out of the holding cell, and they were asking all the facts, he walked over and he said, him too. And I was like, shit, I'm going to be in here a while because they're going to want somebody to pay for all this. Well, he said him too, but I guess he recognized the more or less military bearing and the fact that there were 8 of his guys over in one cell and me over in another, and I guess the police had said something about, yeah, we kind of have to keep those guys separated. They didn't actually have to keep us separated, but it was probably in their best interest to keep us separated, just so no more stupidity would ensue. Well, the JAG marched all of his guys up in front of the judge, and the judge said, well, all right, you're going to take care of them? Okay, well then, gentlemen, y'all are free to go. And I'm sitting there going like, great, now it's my turn all by myself. And the Judge Advocate General guy, officer, I don't know if he was a first lieutenant or a captain. I had a little bit of a hangover. I'm not going to lie about that. But he walked over and he said, this guy just got out the Army, and we'd mightily appreciate it if we could clear this from his record too. And the judge looked at him and was like, Navy guy sticking up for an Army guy? He said, well, it wouldn't exactly be right. My guys did take advantage of the situation, and had it been a one-on-one, I think we would have left him in here. Of course, I would probably been finding my guy's teeth. Come to find out, he knew everything about the whole situation ahead of time, and he contacted one of the guys who was in charge of me, which is just a sergeant, no big deal for a guy who's got those officers things, and he one of my sergeants had told him, you're lucky if you ain't picking up pieces of your guys, because he's mean. How many was it? Because if they won, it had to have been at least 3. The funny part was, the guy from the Navy, he said, look, I got you out of here. I'm going to suggest you get in your vehicle and you leave and don't come back. Yes, sir, not a problem. My next stop's Texas. Long as y'all don't send anybody there into the Houston area, I guess we'll be never seeing each other again, sir. Thank you very much. Look me up anytime you feel like coming to Houston. He actually took me up on that. But that's a different story. Not really funny. It was just a side point. There I was getting released from Panama City Jail for free. To me, it's a funny story. Okay, yeah. I will also tell you that both my eyes were black. My lip was so swole up, I probably looked like you could hide a grand piano in the damn thing. Parts of me skinned up that hadn't been skinned up in years. I should know better than to talk shit to a Navy guy when he's got lots of backup. But, well, put enough beer in a guy and he stops going from smart to just plain obnoxious, and that's probably what started it. I'm fairly obnoxious anyways. Heard those guys didn't get in any trouble. Something about they were just on leave and about to ship out. Hey, what can I tell you? John Gruden might have commented on the size of my lip. Then again, so would Lieutenant Dan. You better tuck that in or get it caught on a tripwire. Come on, Skip. You got to come up with something better than John Gruden at this point. He's old news. Done. Gone. Bye, sir. I hope when they found you in breach of contract, they could also take back that 5% of the team that they supposedly signed over to you with that 10-year contract. Yeah. No big deal. Yeah, I took the worst of that one. I'm okay to admit that I took the worst of a beating from a group of Navy guys. And if any of them see this, y'all are welcome to talk about it and say, hey man, what's going on? Because I'm betting we could hang out like bros now. Most of my former military friends happen to either be Navy or Marine. I only have 2 former military friends that were in the Army. I got a ton of them that were Navy and Marines. I got a son that's in the Air Force and a nephew that's in the Air Force. They're at the same base right now. I'm not going to say I always won every fight that I got into one-on-one. But there was never a time when the other guy didn't know I was in there with him. And surprisingly, I've never been knocked out. I don't need anybody trying to push that issue either. Because nowadays I'm old and broke up and fat and lazy and slow, and someone comes up here trying to look to knock me out, I'm just going to shoot them. I don't need that kind of crap nowadays. I'm an old man. I got grandchildren, for God's sake. She's so cute. Would I still get into a fight? Well, I mean, if I only absolutely had to. I mean, if I was out with Holly and someone did something stupid to her, yeah, you betcha, I'd be all over it in a heartbeat. I would lose my mind. And probably a small portion of my freedom. But as far as someone just coming up and talking, well, I'd be like, yeah, so what? It's just talk. Yabba, yabba, yabba. Ordered some pipe tobacco today. 3 pounds of Sutliff stuff coming to me. Stuff I've never had before. And a pipe. Small pipe. With a family name on it. Don't worry, you'll see it when it shows up. Didn't use smoking pipes, weirdly enough. But I heard that tobacco pipes is now owned by Sutliff, and I figured I'd see if their prices for their own product was better than smoking pipes, and they were. Not by a whole hell of a lot, don't get me wrong, but every dollar saved is still cheaper, right? So hey, don't blame me. Don't shoot the messenger, damn it. I'm just saying, if you're thinking about getting some Sutliff tobaccos, you might want to check out tobacco pipes instead of smoking pipes. Oh, very nice, Ron. Very nice. Now, only John I know, well, I know two guys named John. One is John Knight. He's up there in Tennessee. I bet you he's got guns. The T states are real good about having guns. That's all I can tell you. Tennessee, Texas, yeah. Breaking into houses in Tennessee and Texas, you're taking your life in your own hands. That's all I'm saying. And then my oldest friend, or should I say the friend I've had the absolute longest, guy by the name of John, and he lives in Hawaii. I see pictures of him surfing all the time, and I'm going like, man, if I only had good knees. Howdy, James. Sir, I am smoking Voodoo Queen in a Jonas design pipe. I had also considered smoking some of what I've got left of Stumbo's Num Nums in this, but with having the bug spray out, I didn't want to sully that good name. And yeah, I can get a little taste of it through the tobacco. So I didn't want a cigar. I just kind of wanted a pipe. Hoped it would curb it some, and it did, but not totally. Shotgun, huh? Well, that would be an interesting find. They just go with like a 410. Wouldn't be hard to convert a rifle into a 410. As long as you got a good bench and the right tools. Hey. Except for that Barrett bolt action I got, I don't think I got anything that would even be able to convert into a bigger shotgun than that. I bought one of the Barrett test bed guns from way back. Because single shot bolt action. Hey, great. Go to the range, it goes boom, and everybody turns around and looks to see who's shooting a cannon. Get those targets out to about 1,000 yards that are suddenly going ping. Everybody's wondering what in the hell. Very shortly after that, you got a flock of people around you trying to ask, what's that? What's that? Really, it's just a rifle. It shoots a big old freaking bullet, but it's just a rifle. Of course, I can't hit nothing past 3/4 of a mile. Oh, I bet, Skip. Yeah, people come out the woodworks when they see black powder going off. Okay. Howdy, Martin. Glad to see you, sir. Martin, it's butter and chicken. The only thing you're missing is bacon. Who doesn't love butter, bacon, and chicken? Okay, other than vegans and most vegetarians. Oh, you're trying to get in on the thing where you're going to win some of Mike's pipes. I see how you are. My mother-in-law said, no, we are not going to have you filming in the kitchen. To which I said, good enough. In other words, it's not worth the effort. I like that somebody followed my idea and went with the tiramisu. All y'all people who are out there trying to put together these Italian dishes, and almost none of y'all remembered dessert. And the great part about dessert is it goes with coffee. And you can use the old-fashioned from 1930s style of coffee maker known as the mocha pot. Yes, it was invented and first introduced to the world in Italy in the 1930s. Which means if you do tiramisu, which somebody already did, you can do actually 2 dishes, and both of them, the real cooking is done in the coffee pot. Awesome. Plus, well, it's coffee. We're a bunch of pipe smokers. Pipe smokers that don't love coffee? There aren't many. Actually, Martin, I would know how hard it is to find a good masala. I used to travel around the country with a guy who was a classically trained chef. And he one time made chicken masala, and it was the best I've ever had. In fact, I've tried it at restaurants and have nobody gets even close to how well this guy does. And he told me the secret. Of course, I'm not telling you the secret, but he told me the secret. There is a secret to a good masala chicken. I'm pretty good with Indian food. Most of the curries I can really dig into. Well, you know me, hot and spicy. I'm good there. I'm real good there. Not much on nutmeg or paprika. And people say paprika doesn't have a taste. Well, I know it does because I can taste it. Well, Martin, I live in a big city compared to where you live. I can pretty much get any spices I want right at the store. And if I can't get them at this store, I can drive a little farther and get them at another store. And if I can't get them there, I can go to the area of town where I know I can get them. Skip, you better stop talking about spices and start talking about spicy. Yeah. From what I'm hearing, Steph just gave you the call. You go, Skip. Rock on, brother. $12 quarts of butter chicken. Good Lord. What are the rest of y'all eating? Steph, you just need to worry about taking the pimp hand back to them students. Oh, good Lord, 8 times the price. Really? It's easier to have it flown in. Interesting. Well, I'm fairly certain that you're not Peter North. But hey, no big deal. But yes, pipes were quite a large part of the porn industry at one point in time, according to what I understand. Mostly it was the women who were the pipers. How's it going, Mike? AKA Patches Settler. Come on. Peter North was known as the North Star, the Gusher. He wasn't known for shooting birds. Ron, that does sound pretty tasty, though. You go, James. Hell yeah. Look, I would have believed you had you said you were the woolly mammoth. There's only one porn star that's called the woolly mammoth. Come on. Eden, howdy, sir. Great to have you there. Let's see. A human beer can. Let's think about this here. You're done in one shot. You get it all out, shotgunning it, it's done. Pretty much useless after that? Damn, I would hate to be known as the human beer can. Doing well, Eden. Doing very well. Ah, smoking some Samoys. Very nice. Eden, that of course would be Mike. Not Patches Mike. And not Cane Rod Mike. But the other Mike. He'll probably be through here in a little while. I always think so, Eden. Skip, I'm going to tell you, with the peppers even, but skip the cheese. Make chocolate bread using Young's Double Chocolate Stout. Definitely going to like that. Well, GLH, I happen to be a sports fan. Not just baseball. Have not been watching Squid Games. Nope. Eden, yes, we definitely have some extravagantly warm days here in the Houston area. So I'll have to go check out Squid Games, I guess. Well, at least you're getting some rain. That's nice. Well, GLH, there's pretty much not a part of Texas I haven't been through or to. Being that Kilgore's right there next to Fort Hood, yeah, probably. Just a little more proof that you're not Peter North. He doesn't travel too much farther than Las Vegas and Los Angeles. The Montesino cigar? I know Monte Cristo cigars pretty well. But I don't believe I've ever had a Montesino. Welcome back, Martin. Martin, are you cooking that on the pellet cooker? GLH, pretty much any city with more than 55 people has a good bit of crime going on. Just depends upon what it is. It's Dominican. Howdy, Ben. Hey, there's nothing wrong with cheap cigars. If you enjoy them, that's what matters. That is seriously all that matters. I mean, there's people out there that will smoke cigars I won't touch. And they love them. Well, if Fuente's making them, then they're probably pretty damn good. Steph, you're very correct. Of the 4 major cities in the United States, let's see. New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, Houston. Guess which one has the lowest crime rate? That would be Houston. Of course, guess which one has the most firearms? That would also be Houston. You would think that with all the lies that the media tells you about firearms being dangerous, that it should be different. But no. It's because criminals start learning pretty damn quick when they dead that you can't go just doing stupid shit. Otherwise, you end up, well, dead. Skip, I pretty much agree with you about the attention spans of people being small. I've been noticing it's getting more towards the line of people have the attention span of a gnat, and those of us who can actually understand what's going on and pay attention, we get to suffer because they're no longer trying to go to us, they're going to who's actually watching. And they know more young people are watching all the time, so they got to keep it down at a certain level. Hey, don't get me wrong, people love The Walking Dead. I still have yet to watch 3 minutes of that show. And probably 30 years from now, I'll still be able to say I have not watched 3 minutes of that show. Some decent actors in the show, but subject matter just doesn't appeal to my viewership, so therefore I don't. Very, very true, Eden. Very, very true. Steph, it's fine. You like zombie movies and stuff like that. I stopped liking any kind of scary movie when I went into the military and I got to see real monsters. After you see what real monsters can do, these scary movies just aren't. And thereby, I grew out of being interested in them. And my whole problem with movies from a foreign language is that if I wanted to read a movie, I would get the book. And the translations are almost never right. So if if their mouth is still moving, but they've translated it into English so that you hear it in English, it just annoys the hell out of me, and I can't do it. Martin, it's not about culture. I've read plenty of great books that have been movies, but foreign language movies. And then I just could not get through it. Hell, I could barely get through the Bruce Lee movies, and I love martial art type movies. But you can see that that's not the words that are coming out of his mouth. Eden, I didn't say it wasn't possible. I just said it was. I don't do it well. Part of that's because of my dyslexia. Sometimes I have to go back and reread a word 5 or 6 times. And often I can't get through the words that are on the screen before they're off of there, and I lose some of it, and then it's just like, all right, done. I mean, the last show that I tried to watch that was dubbed in English, but it was filmed overseas, is called Ragnarok on Netflix. And I've watched a few shows that I had to actually change the language to English, and that was okay, just barely. But yeah, some of it was just so difficult. The mouth is not even moving, and that words are coming out of their mouth. Oh wait, now their mouth is moving and no words at all. And the English translation is something like, "Sure, Bob, let's go." But they said a whole sentence in there. You could see their mouth flapping away. Martin, Holly speaks 7 languages. One of them happens to be Russian. Anytime we got a movie on and they're supposedly speaking Russian, I'm like, all right, stop, pause, wait. What do you actually say? Skip, watch Das Boot. It was on one of those nights while I was in Saudi. Great movie. I know it's a great movie, but man, after about 15 minutes, I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to go work out. Yeah, Eden, believe me, when it comes to them speaking Yiddish, 9 times out of 10, it is actually just gibberish. And don't get me wrong, I will give a movie a shot. I will give it a certain amount of time to get past that. Hell, Hunt for Red October. They start off in Russian. But the word Armageddon is pronounced the same in Russian as it is in English. And when they got to the word Armageddon, then they switched to English. And it was a very smooth transition there. And, well, according to Holly, what they had printed on the screen is really what they were saying in Russian. So, okay. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of great shows and movies and stuff like that from foreign languages. I just can't get into them if I'm having to read it, because I can't keep up with the words fast enough to even watch the show. I've got to either read it or watch it, and I won't be able to do both. Eden, yeah, it does tend to puff a little fast when it gets down towards the bottom. That's because the bowl is very space friendly for the tobacco, and to keep enough heat on it, you sometimes got to puff pretty good on it. I even watched all 3 John Wicks just because they had Russian in it, so that I could get my wife to actually translate the stuff. Sometimes that's even more fun. Of course, a 2-hour movie takes 3.5 hours because I'm pause. Okay, what do you say? Steph, one of the characters, supposedly the father of one of the characters in the series Bones, is none other than Billy Gibbons. Of course, she's also said that there's plenty of things that are missed by the average American because they don't speak all those languages. I tried Brooklyn Nine-Nine, I just couldn't get into it. Got through 3 whole episodes, it just was like, never mind. Peaky Blinders, I made it through. That's pretty good. But they speak funny English. Well, Eden, not that you'll actually appreciate the title of this particular show or even the content totally, but Lucifer was pretty funny. If you happen to have Netflix. Oh, yeah. Lucifer was hilarious. As long as you're just going in and enjoying light-hearted comedy about how somebody who's been alive for forever is still getting all this crap wrong. with a lot of eye candy thrown in for both sides. And by eye candy, I mean lots of good-looking girls, and according to my wife, lots of good-looking guys. Cumberbatch makes a great Sherlock. Of course, he also made a pretty damn good Khan. Steph can't watch Lucifer. Skip won't let her. Now, but if I was going to just watch a series on Netflix, I think I'd probably go with The Last Kingdom. Bloody, historical, fictitious, but still very historical. And according to my wife, Last Kingdom had some good eye candy. And according to me, well, the women weren't terrible. And if you liked Last Kingdom, you'll probably like Nightfall. That's Knight. They have one almost completely renowned swordsman in Nightfall. This guy who at one point in time played Luke Skywalker. Ben, Last Kingdom is set in medieval or pre-medieval England before it became all the United Kingdom, when they were just a bunch of broken up little kingdoms. Josh, you're absolutely correct. Does not have his lightsaber. By the way, any of y'all who are out here and have not subbed to Pipe Grump, remember, Stumbo says you better, so you better. Actually, I like his stuff too, so I would highly recommend giving that a follow. We're trying to get him up to 1,000. I'm betting he hits 1,000 before I hit 500. Safe bet. You jumped 300 overnight. Good Lord. You must be right on the verge of total 1,000 domination then. I could eat the spiciest peanuts every day for a freaking year and I wouldn't get up to anywhere near 500. I'm not likable. I'm fine with that. See, Josh, it just takes the right group of people saying you're going to do it. And boom, suddenly it's going to happen. Skip, I don't know. I'll have to wait until somebody's actually subbed me to be able to find out. Woohoo! Josh has got an OnlyFans. And don't worry, because of the delay that shows up at my house for my internet, because my internet is slow as all kind of get out, well, I cannot win a trivia game. That's just all there is to it. Come on, Josh, you're not that kind of gal. You're heavy on the lacquer, not on the liquor. Eden, trust me on this one. People will start channels and go right past me and never even know that they have. And I applaud them the whole way. Yes, Ben, subtext. But that's because I looked at the last word and started trying to figure it out early. Sorry, Skip, I cannot sub to any OnlyFans page where they are currently wearing Kansas City lingerie. It's just not going to happen. You got a better shot at it by wearing Denver Broncos lingerie, because at least then certain things are mile high. I know you're cheering for the Donkeys almost as much as I am. Steph, I mean, come on. It's obvious. Skip is definitely one of Patrick's Mahomies. And I was a little pissed off when Kansas City moved way up like that and got him. But seems like this year is just not his year. I don't know what happened, but it's like he's always now throwing a interception on every game. I'm guessing there's enough footage on him that he's got a tell. And until they figure out what that tell is and get rid of it for him, it's going to happen more often. Well, Skip, it's still better to be a Broncos fan than one of those Chargettes in Los Angeles. Somebody from San Diego might hate me for saying such as that, but I don't care. Josh, what happened to your Ravens? Huh? Just asking. And any of y'all Boston fans, y'all just remember, don't talk trash about Correa. It never goes good when you talk trash about Correa. Howdy, Cliff. Great to see you, sir. Great to see you, sir. Josh, yes, definitely a fluke. Believe me, a fluke. I don't know how in the hell Baltimore lost. Oh, sorry. The Ravens lost that game. It just seemed like it should have been the other way around all day, and then it just wasn't. It still went into overtime. It's a good game, but the better team won. Checking the time. Okay. So here in about 15 minutes, we will be going to go visit with Mike, or at least last I heard. I don't believe that he has taken the day off. If he did, y'all are going to be lonely. Because my wife told me I've got to go get something for dinner. It came through the text box. That sounds like fun, Cliff. Ron, that's probably just a short drive for you too, sir. Y'all can make it a big meetup. Get it on film. Those are not lies. They are just exaggerations of actual events. To the point they might as well be lies. It's like most stories. I know what you're saying, Cliff. I mean, every place has got their little colloquialisms. Like, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit, but. Well, you know it's gonna be a lie, but it's probably gonna be a pretty good story. I'm willing to bet that there's several other statements like that out there. Skip, remember when she taps, you're supposed to release the chokehold. Night, Steph. You be careful. Have a great day. Hopefully your day tomorrow will be excellent. And if you get in touch with Janice, we would love to hear from her on Over a Pipe sometime in the very near future. I know you practically have to use the Ouija board to get in touch with her when she's out there near Pluto and stuff, but I know you've got direct line of communication there. So any care, comments, concerns, or anything else that needs to be passed on to the rest of the YTPC community? By the way, for any of y'all that are into a little bit of prayer and maybe just a little bit of information, Let My Cameron Go, aka Nathan, does a Monday show that you might be interested in tuning into. Oh, Eden, you might want to look up Padrone Corticos, or Corticus, or Corsicus. It's one of those. They make a small little cigar that comes in a tin, 6 of them in a tin. I'll see if I can't find the tin that I had of them. I've still got the tin somewhere, I'm sure. But it's hard to beat a Padrone. Nothing to ever be sorry about in here, Eden. Nothing to ever be sorry about. We're just hanging out, being friendly to one another, having a good time, waiting for Mike's show to come on. That's what tailgating's all about. Unless it's Friday, and then we're just waiting for Chad to come on. I saw kind of a need on both those shows. That, of course, it was way back in the day when there was only Thursday and Friday shows. I always thought it was kind of nice to be able to take a channel full of people and dump them into somebody else's channel, and suddenly that person's channel is full of people right at the very beginning, which is, trust me on this one, when you do your first live and nobody tunes in because nobody knows it's happening, or nobody knew that that was the specific day you were talking about doing your live, it's a little disheartening at first, but then people start showing up and you start really getting in the hang of things. That first live it's a little frustrating. And I would see Chad would sit at like 5 people for 20 minutes when he first would go live. And Mike would sometimes take the first 15 minutes to barely get into the 30s. Now it's almost immediate. As soon as Mike's channel comes on, 30 people beating on his door waiting to come in. Eden, you'd be surprised if you feel like you want to go live. First thing I would suggest doing is you look at the Briar Report, you find out when people are already tuned into other shows, and don't pick those times. And then you go live directly afterwards or directly in front of, but you let a lot of people know, hey, I'm going to be doing this. And some people like to work with a script, aka Martin, though his script goes off the rails and it's mostly just dad jokes, but I mean, hey. All right, Ron, you take care. We'll be over on Mike's channel by the time you get back, unless you eat real fast. And the other piece of advice that I'm going to give for anybody who is thinking about going live, get yourself something to drink. Make sure to have plenty of something to drink. Eden, there is no way you're going to be... Huh, looks like Mike just went live. And yeah, okay, so Mike's live. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for being here. It's been so much fun. I love having y'all here. And, well, remember, take care of yourselves and each other. Do the best you can with that. And as always, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I'll see you on Mike's channel here in just a minute. Bye for now.